have some minutes here from, we have two sets of minutes. One is we don't have to approve, we just need to sign. So when I pass these down to you gentlemen, please put your signatures on it.
That would be the special meeting. All right.
Yeah. And the previous meeting. Yeah. May 16th. We already approved them. Okay, and then we need to make a motion to approve the minutes from the special meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Mike? Yes. PJ? Yes. John?
Yes. There you go, my friends.
How did you get approved on this?
We just didn't sign them. That's what we added in the minutes. Okay, and now we have the minutes from May 2nd.
Yeah, we'd all received the copies, Fred, so we approved the minutes, but we didn't have the original here to sign.
May 2nd.
So moved.
Second.
Mike?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
John?
Yes. Okay. We do have a guest here tonight. Harrison? Take the floor, my friend.
Okay. Excuse me. I want to start off by thanking the trustees for letting me come here and, I wouldn't say preach, but demonstrate my Eagle Scout project. I was here the last trustees meeting back in May. However, I didn't have any drawings or blueprints. I was a bit unprepared on my part. So I sat down, the straight edge and a ruler and tape measure and all that stuff, and drew up some blueprints for my Eagle project, which, for those of you who don't know, at the Auburn Park District, it's a beautiful park and it's being renovated, and a few Eagle Scouts are donating their projects there. I think there was a flagpole done, there was a bridge built, and someone else is doing a second bridge there. So I thought, maybe I'll contribute my 2 cents. So I was thinking, what's a good project to do? And there's this nature trail that's this nice trail that leads to a couple of bridges called the Eagle Scouts, but there's no indicator of where the trail begins. It's just kind of like this blank entrance. So I was thinking, what'll be good there? A sign, an archway, a rock, I don't know. But I came to the conclusion of doing an archway. So when I was on vacation in the Florida Keys, I saw this beautiful archway I would love to duplicate in front of the trail. It's basically 4 posts, and then it comes up the top and is an umbrella for a roof. And I think it'd be a nice, contribution to the park. So I sat down, like I said, and I have some blueprints that I would like to show to the trustees, the dimensions of the archway. And I know one of the concerns of the trustees was backhoes, and then if there needed to be an emergency vehicle to be rushed in there in case of emergencies, that the archway may not allow the vehicle to do so. So it's either build the archway to the constructions of a backhoe, an emergency vehicle, or create a bypass route. And me, being a 17-year-old who has no skills with a hammer whatsoever, building something that large and wide for a backhoe probably wouldn't have been a good idea. So I examined the trail and I found an area that can be cleared and leveled with gravel and create a decent bypass route for backhoes and emergency vehicles. So I do have that drawn up here. It's just a simple drawing. It's about 20-25 feet down the trail where the entrance begins, and there is no tree stumps or any rocks that would be impossible to move. All it would take is just a simple clearing of the twigs and branches, and then laying some dirt, and then laying some gravel and planting it down. You guys want to see that?
Yes, please. Actually, Mr. Gordon, we'll get him to figure out where that is.
You see this, Chief?
Now, this bypass you're going to have here, I'm not sure where this is again.
There's this section of the woods that's like along the trail path where the field is. And like I said, there's no like big tree roots or anything that would be a problem to remove. So it's like a small section of the woods where you could easily clear out the debris and then level some gravel down.
So that would be to the east of the existing entrance?
Yes.
I think we're going to have Mr. Gordon
Yeah.
take a peek at that one.
Is this is this where the access, where the wood trail is, or the field trail?
It's a field trail.
The field trail, okay. And the chief and I will discuss this once the emergency vehicles and that. Just let me do this. Sure.
Let's see what it's going to look like there.
Harrison, remind me what your timeline is.
My timeline?
Mm-hmm.
I turned 18 August 1st.
August 1st. Oh, boy.
I know in E101 we have this, I guess, unqualified tradition of waiting until the last minute. A couple of Eagle Scouts before me did that.
I think you're right
It's
about
not
that.
the best plan, but it happens sometimes.
Most people work best under pressure.
That archway is an open trellis type?
Yes.
The best thing to do would be to meet the fire chief and myself
Okay.
up at the park, and we'll look at the spot that you have designated for this and see if that's workable.
Okay.
It's a viable place for this. And I'm in no way, shape, or form against having it there. I'm sure there's someone we can work around to get our equipment.
Yeah.
As far as the heavy construction equipment, I don't take too much back there right now. Yeah, this looks like it's great. Let's make
Thank you.
let's pick a date, and
Okay.
we'll meet up there ASAP.
You want to give him your phone number there?
Sure. You have the chief's number as well, right?
No, we talked
We did
already.
talk.
You guys set the date and I'll be there. Let me know
Okay.
when.
There you go. Here's my card.
Oh, that works too.
Yeah, give me a shout.
Okay.
Set up a date soon. My hours are 6:30 to 3.
Okay.
With the chief. Very good.
I say, Harrison, your time you spent reorganizing was well spent.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
Look forward to having you work up there.
So just out of curiosity, when would be appropriate for you guys to approve it and sign my packet after the meeting with the fire chief?
I think, to be honest with you, we can sign it now.
Yeah, we're going to approve the project with the,
All these gentlemen need to do is just kind of put an eyeball exactly so you don't go up there and get a little bit cattywampus from where we all think you're going to be and you think you're going to be. So as far as your project goes, I think it's a great project, and we need to just get going on this for you because 18 is going to come faster than any other one you had. So
yes, whatever you need to sign, we can sign now.
We can
Again,
get
with
you
the
going,
contingency of
right.
the chief and Mr. Gordon.
Okay.
Okay.
The locations. So you get your book.
I got my book back
all
here.
right. I think we should do that. Do you want to make a motion?
We didn't do that for the project last time, did we?
Sure. I said I'll make a motion to approve the project as presented with approval by the chief and Mr. Gordon as to specific location.
Sure. I'll second that.
So,
You're getting ahead of yourself there, Harrison.
Mike?
Yes.
PJ? Yes.
John?
Yes.
Now,
Now you're official.
all right, which one of you gentlemen is going to signature that one? Thank you.
Just the one tonight?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Harrison. Okay, we have some scheduled reports, and the first is Mr. Frank Kicko.
Okay, activity for May, we processed 12 applications for 12 permits. We did have one new dwelling, which now brings us to 8 new houses for the year. 3 fences, 3 decks, or 2 decks, and 3 accessory buildings over 200 square feet. We did have a request for a variance, which was granted, and we also have a denial, which probably will lead to a request this month. If all the paperwork gets in, submit in the time so that it gets in the paper. That's about it, really. We did the situation on Jacobs Lane, I believe, is now pretty much resolved.
Good.
The building's down, the animals are gone.
No shots were fired.
No shots were fired.
Very good. Any questions for Mr. Kicker? Gentlemen? Thank you, Frank. We're going to move on to Road Superintendent, Mr. Gordon.
Okay, Auburn Township Road Department report for May 2, 2016. Ditching and drainage improvement for the partial reconstruction of Ascot and Belmont Lanes was started and completed in the month of May. Other ditching projects were done on Taylor May and on Bartholomew Road. Drive the color pipe replacements were done on Woodacre Trail and Snow Road. And if you see, I have another requisition coming in. I just got hit with a flurry of other requests for drive pipes to be done. Berm repair of Quinn Road, Quinn 1, Brookfield Drive, and Taylor May required a 1.5 3/4 gravel. Brush and debris were removed from Bartholomew 4, Taylor May, Quinn Road 1, and Sablewood Drive. The cemeteries had brush removed, footers poured, and graves topped with soil seed and strong preparation for Memorial Day. And we did get the deer, fox, and crazy out there. Bulls bracing tiller around that poison ivy. There was one full interment for the month. The Auburn Community Park was mowed weekly, and the parking lot expansion completed, and it's I checked off on that. The grading and drainage of the additional 4 acres of the playfield did begin in May. He does have that complete as far as the grading. The trunk line is in for the drainage. We waited for rain to see where the pooling is. And this weekend gave us a chance, and most of the pooling is on the west as anticipated. And I did talk with Buckeye this morning, and it feels with the perf pipe and drainage that we're going to add that it should be successful in keeping that a dry playfield. To the south, 99% dry. There's one puddling area towards the east, and that was it. So I think that came out great. That's all I have.
Okay. Mr. Troy.
Okay, I see a requisition in there for, it's $200 for stamps. It's a little higher than normal. I discussed with Nancy, we're going to do the letters again like we did last year, soliciting donations for the Independence Day festivities, and discuss whether to just contact the people who donated last year or to contact everyone we did. And I said, we'll give everyone else a chance again. So we're going to do a mailing for even those that didn't donate last year. Secondly, 2 items of notoriety that are really worth reporting on. One is the Memorial Day Parade. The second, of course, is the large item drop-off. Now, I'm going to let my compatriots discuss those. I just wanted to give my personal thanks to PJ and the Memorial Day Committee for the excellent job they all did. And my congratulations and thanks to Mr. Eberly and Emmerich and the road guys for all the hard work that they did up at the large item drop-off. I'll save it for your reports, and I'll see the reports. Just want to thank both of you guys. Both did a great job.
Well, thanks, Mike.
Garbage isn't my middle name.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why we like you there, you know. That's all I have.
I just wanted to thank everybody that we had some new people chip in and help out on Memorial Day, and I think it led to everything coming off real smoothly. Got to thank the committee again for all the work they do. We are going to need to find a location for the guns. They've moved around a little bit recently, and central secure location here. So give some thought to that. We were asked by the committee to keep the guns. Some of the fellows that have been keeping them aren't comfortable having them at this point. So there's discussion of the attic. That's not good. I carried that cabinet. It's heavy. You wouldn't want to move up and down those stairs twice.
Is the cabinet lockable?
Oh yeah. Yeah. But like I said, I would think probably this building makes the most sense at this point. Unless there's something in the new
Yeah, we could
service
call it an
building.
armory then.
Hmm?
Yeah, we could call it an armory. Yeah, we'll find something.
Yeah, we got to find a spot for that. Museum's going to need some work. You look at it a little closer when you got all the people up there. The entry wood, of course, it's been sided, but the wood around the double doors there in the front, there's some rot showing there. It's going to need some attention. So I'll be getting a quote on that. We talked to a lady up there on Sunday after the ceremony, and she offered to, if we come up with a plan, she's going to make a donation towards the repairs. So. We'll come up with an estimate or two there and get on that this summer. And the other thing that got done was the grant was applied for timely through ODNR and Nature Works for the playground, the second phase, which would be next year. Chagrin Watershed Partners came out a couple times. Heather Elmer came out a couple times, and we sat right there and went right over the whole 75-page application. So, matter of months, I'm sure they do a preliminary screen on them, and we'll hear something, and then they probably have a final approval later. And should it go according to plan, this will go a long ways towards our completion of the playground, which should be starting here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I've got a lot of positive responses to the fact that we're getting a playground out there.
So that's all I have.
Mr. Ray.
All right.
Yeah.
I have your regularly scheduled reports in front of you, your revenue status report, appropriation status report, and fund summary report, along with payment listing report for May 26th through today.
Sorry, Frank.
Total payments of $40,357.01. And I have a resolution. I need supplemental appropriations. This is to pay for our auditor of state services. We get billed $800 and some every month by the auditor of state for essentially to cover our UAN accounting system. So I need $6,000 in supplemental appropriations to general fund account 1,110,312. I'll go ahead and read the resolution. Resolution 2016-14 for supplemental appropriations. The Board of Trustees of Auburn Township, Geauga County, Ohio met in regular session on the 6th day of June 2016. All were present. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Auburn Township, Geauga County, Ohio, that the Board finds it necessary to make the following supplemental appropriation to pay for necessary services from the Auditor of State: $6,000 in general fund account 1,110,312.
So moved.
Second.
Mike?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
I'll just mark it down.
Okay.
And then I have put in front of each of you a draft budget in a manila folder. So take a look at that. There's 22 pages there of the draft budget. I also included an appropriation status report from last year so that you can look and see how much we appropriated, what we actually spent, and then compare that to what I'm proposing in the draft budget. I talked to everybody. I talked to the chief. I talked to Emmerich. I talked to zoning, everybody, just to find out if there's anything big coming up. There would be a change from last year. Probably John, you and I may want to go over the budget one more time before we finalize it. We'll go with that further. Other than that, it's pretty much the same as last year, with, of course, some increases for salaries and benefits, those types of items that increase every year. And that's all I have.
Okay, I'm going to just jump back to cleanup day. I think it was quite a success. We had, 25 cars through there?
114
114.
residents, at least, plus not counting a few.
Seniors we didn't charge, right. And it worked out really well at them all. And so I think it's something we need to look into again. We did have one scenario that did come up, and the road guys worked from 6:30 to 3 without one break. We had one constant stream of cars coming from the first to the last. And I mean, and we should have, when you publish the thing's over at 1 and people are coming in at 3 o'clock and then getting excited that, they're just a little late, that didn't help things. But I want to thank the guys, because that was a long day, not one break. And somehow we got to recapitulate this. Now next year it may not be like that, because we're going to have the senior citizen stuff again. But I don't want to end up doing that again next year.
Gordy,
Yeah,
let's speed things up. We had 2 loaders.
Even when we did it last year, we had Big Bird sit there, and we did use primarily the back. So even if you're running 2 loaders, you're still loading one dumpster at a time. And the rule of thumb is we fill them up. If you put one item in another dumpster that's errant, they charge you a different rate than just coming back to the empty dumpster. So we try to do that. We've used 2 in the past. It has worked. I do feel myself that some of the senior stuff did show up. I don't know if
We
it.
had 37 seniors.
Yeah.
37 carloads of seniors.
Yeah. This was pretty much. This was back to the old days. PJ, you might remember 97, 98. Fill up.
Out on the road.
Yeah, you would have them all out on the road.
Well, this got everybody in off of Washington Street. I mean, at one time we had 26 cars lined up there. So.
Right. Irregardless if I'm running 1 or 2, we still finished. I think we finished them all. I think the thing is, if there's a break for the guys, I could take 2 guys out. And we do have volunteers that show up.
Yeah. Well, it's just something I want
I think we didn't have the pickup, this senior pickup this year, so how many we have normally on that?
We're doing up to 100, but we cut it at 85. So we do 85 pickups for seniors.
So have we done the seniors, we probably better drop this 30 or 40 anyway.
One of the things that the road guys and I both agree upon, I'd rather see this in a dumpster than in the ditches.
Yeah.
Chase trash all year round.
Yeah, at least you do it in a bulk instead of one piece at a time.
Okay, other thing I want to do is we'll give you a little update, gentlemen, on where we are with our capital projects. Emmerich, I'm going to call on you again. At Ascot, you went to the pre-construction meeting. You want to update the...
Sure, at a pre-construction meeting, we met with Ron Yak and Sunbase, who's contracted by Ron Yak to do the Portland with that. We're doing a partial reconstruction, which is the drainage remains intact. The township was in there. We did correct any drainage problems, did some ditching there. And what we're doing is we're going out 20 feet. We're actually going out 22 feet with Portland. And what this entails is going into the driveway aprons. And there is, I think, 23 concrete driveway aprons there. And we're going to have to go in at least 2 feet into these driveway aprons. The idea is the machine can't weave in and out. We want a consistent shelf for this road. And then the berm itself will be Portland as well, the 2-foot berm outside of the road. We met with Nick Gorse and I met with the HOA interim president, who is Chad Williams, and a couple other members of their HOA board there. We had a really good meeting. They did come to realize how it's necessary to go into their aprons and to get that strength of the road itself built up with Portland. We did ask Chad Williams himself, since we have been in contact, we had meetings with Ascot Lane, that Mr. Williams be the conduit between the engineer's office, the township, and his residents there. This way we're not fielding 40 calls and explaining it 40 times over. He did ask for updates. We are going to give him the timeline so he can follow the timeline, albeit there may be inclement weather and we can't nail it all the time. This will be a road closed state for the entire duration of the project. And notice to proceed is July 1st. And then demobilization will be August 17th, which is the first day of school. We did run into 1 week of school buses running over on Stafford Road a week or two, and the construction crews are working with the buses as well to get them through. So that way we have the practice runs there should be unimpeded. So it looks like that this is going to be a good project. Once again, we look at Stafford Road at the reconstruction there. I think we're going to have great results here. We did mark off the under drain that the township put in to make sure that remains intact. It's still flowing to this day. I'm just looking forward to getting this project started. The one thing is, mobilization is July 1st, but this won't in any way, shape, or form disrupt any July 4th events that they may have over there. That's just bringing the equipment in.
Okay, any questions on that, gentlemen? Nope. The project we have is, I'm going to call it Whisperwood, East Washington. It's a drainage project. Entails a very large culvert up in Whisperwood and several smaller cross culverts down on East Washington, and then a surfacing on East Washington. Township, we already had work that was part of our scope in this thing. It's all been completed and accepted by the engineers. And so all we are, it's the contract that we just signed with Eclipse. And so everything should be on full go with that.
Correct. We're waiting for the pre-construction.
We'll have it, yeah, we still have to have that, although it's only been 1 week since we've signed the contract. So that project, both of those are went in over the budget that we had set, because there's even an additional culvert issue that has to be done this summer over on Valley Road. And we do have to get that done before we can chip seal and do that chip seal project. I think what we would like to do, we have a gentleman to work with. He's been down, comes with a great recommendation on what do they do tonight. It's Kodash Excavating. We need to issue a purchase order to him. And I don't know my budget, but his budget was about $2,500. You know, I think what we should do is, if it's all right with you, Fred, is maybe issue up a purchase order, because we're going to add an extra culvert on here, right?
Right.
So if we set it at $5,000, that will...
I believe Fred, I spoke with Fred today, I believe it's $2,550.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2550. Just
$2,550.
So, but when we combine the two together, the number's going to drop, because there's going to be one mobilization and one demobilization. So, do you feel that that would be sufficient?
Sure, yeah.
So that's my motion.
I'll second it, but I'm not repeating it.
But you're what?
I'm not repeating it.
Oh. All right.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
John.
Yes. Okay, as long as we're talking about our bigger projects, it comes up here that we still have the chip seal left. Unfortunately, when you add that chip seal number in with all these other projects, we're over our budget. Now, we're not way over the budget, but just enough is over. So I think what we're going to have to do is take the chip seal and just push it off till next year. And I did talk with the successful bidder, Hughes Contracting, and explained to them back actually about 2 or 3 weeks ago that this was a possibility, this would come up. We very much like to work with Hughes Contracting. They do an excellent job. And so I explained to Edith, we don't want to get crossways with her, that we always want her to bid our projects and everything. And she said she understood. And but I think that's what, where we are right now. It's, we just don't have enough for that whole project. It's a fairly large project. And so I think that's where we're going to end up being. We'll probably need to get, we absolutely have to get our ducks lined up with these culverts that kind of slipped in here. So by the time we get these culverts done, it may be into August. And then she was planning to chip in July. So I mean, that's another issue, but it's more of a money issue than a timing issue. So,
Well, it's rare when every engineer estimated project comes in over.
Right.
And that's got to have an effect, because
Right.
that's how we set our budgets.
right.
I don't remember it ever happening before.
Well,
When
and
I've been here, when every single project.
the engineers are very much sympathetic. They know we have a tight budget. We run right to the very end of it, and they don't feel as though that we asked them to jump through some hoops and then never had any intention of doing it in the first place. So what we have engineering is all done. It's for next year now, so that should take care of that. Other thing I wanted to do was just give you gentlemen a garage update. Jim Dixon was going to come tonight, and to be quite honest with you, things haven't changed that much, other than we've got probably about 2/3 and maybe a little more than that of the concrete poured, and that's going very well. We're very pleased. We've had a couple of little breaks in the weather that's worked out for us, and if you go and take a look at the site, it's very obvious how much we got done.
Jim's issuing those reports with pictures too.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's staying on top of it.
So the next milestone is going to be next week when the building is delivered. And they'll be pending exactly how early in the week, but he said they'll shuffle the building, which is get everything organized in the right sequence. And then they'll have a different crew come up the following week, and we can start to erect it. And that could take a month. And so we're right on schedule to the day as of today. So that we were behind by 2 weeks at one point. They made all that time up, and so he's very pleased where we are right now. Did I hit everything, Emmerich? Yeah.
You wanted to talk about Q?
Oh, gosh, yeah. I actually have Q down here at the bottom, but since you brought it up, we're going to, each of you gentlemen have a letter. Q it's a kind of an unusual situation. They came back to us here late Friday, and with a couple of options for next year. Apparently, there's a lot of salt that never got picked up this year. And they were reminding people that it's your salt. They are providing a storage option. I think it's $10 a ton or something like that. And they've also extended the timeline to the end of the year when you can pick up your salt. They also have as part of this option is to extend the contract for another year. So there's several things to consider with this road salt. Number one is, will the vendor fulfill your request for salt? and we have 100% record with Q delivering our salt, even in the most severe shortages. We called, asked for salt, we had salt within the contract terms, which is 24 hours. We had salt. So that's pretty important to have. The other thing is that the price we were paying is in the bottom 5 to 10%. So we're very pleased with that. And that's been not just for 1 year. If you average out all the years we've been in Q, we've been enjoyed some very, very, very competitive prices. One thing it's important to remember when some of these people are throwing around, other trustees are throwing around per ton prices of salt, well, you know, it needs to be delivered to our building and not the engineer's office. It's a huge expense to haul salt from there down to wherever you are. So having said that, I think, Emmerich, you want to weigh in on your feelings for Q, or anything you want to throw in?
Once again, the deliveries there during the worst two shortages, we never were out of salt. We've always managed to obtain salt through Cargill in Ontario, who was a carrier at that time. I did get a chance, Mr. Early, to review options. I do agree with Q option 1. Option 1 is running the contract date and getting rid of the September 8th, taking the January 1st. I'd rather not do what they do suggest at the bottom of the letter, which is reduce the amount of salt you take with what you're not purchasing, or your next year's. We've always worked on last year's salt. And
We'll
last
be
year's
using
price.
this year's salt next year.
Right, and I want to continue that.
Right.
One of their suggestions was to order less in the next contract. I don't want to do that. Keep our committed amount. I have the storage capabilities to store an entire season. So let's agree with their option 1, but let's not reduce the next year's committed amount, which is $26.40.
Yeah, as long as we got storage for it, as long as we got room for it.
Correct, right, yeah.
Well, that'll be next year.
Right.
We'll have that problem, not this year.
Right, yeah.
So I think what you might be reading the tea leaves here, and who knows, because only the Farmer's Almanac knows for sure, but somebody's betting on a milder winter again, which we will take if it's offered up to us. Okay. We had a quote in here from Gilmore for the building. This quote is for the door fobs, the monitoring costs, the fire. We don't currently have the extent of fire monitoring that we're going to have in the new building. We have to monitor the sprinkler system and several other areas, but sprinkler system is probably the primary issue. We're not down to the wire to do this, but if you guys want to pursue this, or you want to put it off to the next week meeting, that's fine with me too. Or if you have any questions, we can go back to Gilmore. This, we're only talking about the first option.
Just fire and security.
Well, they've done a decent job for us in the past. And we've got a big investment there, so, you know, I have no problem with what they propose.
Okay.
And the second part all comes in, like, that's all door access and stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna do all that, yeah. Door accesses, it'll be a fob. Everybody will, each of the guys will have a fob. You'll go in and out. It'll, not out, but it'll, you go in, it'll record who you are and what time you came in, and you won't have to have.
Yeah, we've got that at the fire department. It's it's definitely the way to do it. I've got an inhibitor.
Could use the same fob too for you guys. Well, some of our guys have one key fob for several places.
Yeah.
And it works. Key fobs are only like $7 a piece.
Yeah, well, same thing. I've got my Brightech fob, and
They programmed that door for it too.
yeah, so I just use my one fob to get in both places.
Well, let's go back to the fire alarm security. That's a necessity. That's not a luxury. So, you've gone over this. Look,
I talked with,
Dixon's looked at it. I mean,
yeah, I talked with Mr. Everly. We were discussing, are the cameras in there as well? No, they're not. Okay.
this is pretty typical. I mean, of what. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you could spend way more money if you wanted, but I think this is more than adequate.
Motion on the fire and security systems to accept that proposal from Gilmore, equipment and installation of $10,429.
I'll second.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
John,
Yes. One of the other big items that we need to get on order is going to be the lifts. And I asked Mike and Mark to really study these. There's several items, there's several different ways you can go. They've researched these things, and I asked them if they can, I don't know if it's either this next meeting or the following meeting, if they can make a little presentation to explain all of why we want to go this way, that way. And, you know, you're looking at something that could cost $60,000, so we want to make sure that everybody knows what it is.
Yeah.
So they've got prices from several vendors, and we're shopping the thing. So it's an interesting thing. They're all on the state bid too. So, but you know, everybody's got a different way to skin the cat, so to speak. So we'll try to get that handled. We had some correspondence with the groundwater monitoring. Fred, you had that, or?
That would have come from Bainbridge. Yeah, that we
Where it
reported.
is right now, about all the meetings.
Yeah, this is on USGS water study, the monitoring that's been going on for a few decades here. In the past, we, as a board, and a lot of other townships as well, just asked for action from the commissioners on the issue based on the recommendation from their planning commission. They've taken that action. They're going to continue it on, at least temporarily. The program's going to continue. They're looking to change it or modify it or cut some costs ultimately, and that's fine. That's a good idea. It's always a good thing to look at. But in the meantime, they're going to continue on with USGS program, and this is basically just thank you for taking action. So, a motion to send this letter here.
Second.
Okay.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
John,
Yes. We have one other issue that, it's not even an issue, it's just something I want to go over since Emmerich here. And that is, we did have Troy up here for discussions about Snow Road. And we just want to make sure everybody understands what exactly happens when the township shares a road. Obviously, there's two sides of the road, and there's our ditches in our right-of-way, it's their ditches on the other side and their right-of-way. Auburn does not tell Troy what to do on their side of the road, and Troy does not dictate to Auburn how we handle those particular issues on our side of the road. We had some people from Auburn who've been griping, and
Well, we did field some calls.
right.
You know, this isn't about the surface. It's not
No.
about trees that are marked and ditching that's being done. The ditching's all been done by Boomer over on the Troy side. They're trying to update the drainage there. And all those trees, they're all marked that are in the right of way. I don't know if this is an indication that Ken's going to go in there and take them out in one fell swoop. I mean, it hasn't been done before there, but maybe this is just to let the people know or full warning. I'm not sure. I haven't had a discussion with Ken, but our people are now calling, asking, are we doing the same on their side? If you look at the right-of-way markers, it's on the back side of the ditch, and there's not many trees that Auburn's going to forfeit if there is a update to this road. I haven't called Ken, but a lot of them are reluctant to call Troy. They like the answer to come from us, so I'll see if I can fish an answer out. But all those big maples that are at the Stafford side, they're all marked. All those large
We
ones.
forwarded the correspondence that we received from,
These are telephone calls. There's several calls.
should we just
I'll give Ken a
some
call.
emails and maybe we can transfer them up just to let them know what's going on, just so they're.
Yeah, well, the ditching, that's that's evident. They're updating their ditching as far as tree removal, a lot of trees. So it was very, as far as very unexpected. I didn't figure that we see this, but he did come to our meeting. Maybe he did listen about opening the road up and taking the canopy off. I'm not sure. So,
But there's a physical border. There's a center line, and one side is theirs, and the other side
yes,
is ours.
sir, you're right. Yeah, and they're marking trees all down their side. So.
Yeah, they're not marking ours. I mean, I think if I remember, we had three,
There's not many.
a handful, but I remember specifically 3 trees that you and I identified when we were down there, that if we did all this, we would have to take down about 3 of them. But I'm just saying they have way more.
Yeah, the majority comes out of theirs. And it's those large ones.
But and this year, we don't have any intent of doing those trees.
Well, and that's how we answer.
Right.
I mean, we haven't received any correspondence or anything from Troy as to any estimates for what they're doing or anything.
No.
Well, then what are we supposed to do?
Right, and PJ, you're right. It is all occurring on their side
Yeah.
of the center line of the road. So.
Well, and they don't need to tell us
Right,
either.
right. Yeah.
Well, that's true. I mean, well, I guess what I'm getting to is if you share a road, it probably would be best if you're on the same page if you're going to do an improvement, maybe.
Well,
But you don't have to be.
we agree with that, but we're not talking about the surface here. We're talking
Right.
about the infrastructure part of it. Okay, I think that brings us to the end of the list. So, yes.
Yeah, I do. As we were talking about a playground a little earlier, and when Jonathan Wright, I think is his name, was here, we discussed one of the options with the installation of under the mulch and between the borders. Commonly, there's a fabric that's used. We, after looking at the cost and discussing it a little bit, decided to delete that. And then we've got a fella here tonight that's stepped up and is donating I don't remember the cost of it, but it's significant. Tony?
I try to stay out of the public, you know, the PJ, so.
Okay. Well,
Fly under the radar.
You're here, and I know what's happened there, and we're going to install that fabric beneath, which helps retain your mulch and everything, and just ultimately it's going to lower the cost of the maintenance of the place. And okay, I won't acknowledge that anybody's here had anything to do with that. So, but we appreciate it. Thank
If
you.
they were here, we'd thank them.
But if they were here, okay, thank you. Carl. All righty. Yes.
Question time, just one warrant, 3054 to Brenham and Flowers. What was that? I moved down 165. Did I get that right?
Let's see. That's for our HRA plan administration.
Okay, and not an exit, no exit conference or anything like that?
No.
No, okay. Thank you.
Gentlemen?
Well, if nobody has anything else, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Jonathan.
Yes.
I think I'm not listening, don't you?
25.
DJ, I can tell you the name.
You got everybody, do you? And there's a reason we're going to do something for those folks. So,
Well, there's one you've got wrong in here.
well, we got to get them right.
You didn't know your father.
I didn't write that.
What?
I can write that.
Oh, you did, okay.
And yeah, I pretty much know who my dad is at this
He's
point.
the guy that gave birth to you.
Are you sure?
Oh, are we getting red? Do you want me to take it home and give you a list of people?
That'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a reason we're doing that too. So,
Now, do you want like Carol Eichel Tree and Farming, or you want Carol Tree and Farming?
well, we just need names and addresses for. I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
This is Auburn alumni stuff. We did a group picture of pretty much every
Everyone.
remaining Auburn high school graduate. We want to make sure they get pictures.
And I can't believe we didn't know Shorty Newsman.
I know Shorty Case Grant. I didn't write that.
She's not giving up on
I
it.
tell you.
No, I'm not going to let him go out. I sat here for the longest time trying to figure out who this one guy. That's your father.
Well, I couldn't figure that out. You asked me.
Because he looks like my brother-in-law, Jack Fugito. In this picture, he does.
Maybe you and DJ are related.
Oh, God.
Maybe you and DJ are related.
I won't clamor.
No.
I won't clamor. I gotta tell
I
you.
won't blame him.
Good.
He gets fed too easy.
Go home. Everybody go home.
No refreshments.
Yes, Tom, ready.